who didn't win?
If Trump didn't win, the border stayed wide open.
Oh. I'm an immigrant, Joe, and I've seen that side of policy in the U.S. and how it's affected the community and generally the people. But on the other end, I've also experienced Biden and the open borders policy and the amounts of horrible shit that I saw on that border, and people being a bunch of kids that went missing, or kids that were like, what's going on with all these kids and why do they have armbands, and all these migrant
Human
camps.
trafficking.
Yeah, all these migrant camps being set up on the border, and
Which generally good people don't want to believe that human trafficking is a real business.
It is the best.
Child trafficking is a real business.
It is a real business, and it is a big business, and most of anything related to sex trafficking, specifically related to children, what part of the world do you think is the largest market for it?
Is the United States? They're always catching people too. They catch people and you're like, how many have they not caught?
Yeah.
You know, whenever they catch some new guy that's in trouble.
The phenomenon that's going on that I don't see a lot of people talk about is that the fact that, a lot of Americans who are into this move to Mexico, and in Mexico it's harder to find some of these people. So a lot of in some of these expat community places, there are people hiding out who are pedophiles, and they don't no longer have to figure out stuff in the U.S., so they're moving down there and they're doing some of that down there. Trafficking of children, the sales of children, child theft, kidnappings are common in Mexico. They're very common in Mexico. And it's not something that you hear a lot about, but masses of people and children being moved up into the border have had some sort of organized effort with them to help that out. If you're a cartel member and you're on the border and all of a sudden you see 14 kids that are all asleep, you're like, why are all these kids asleep? Oh, they're tired from the trip. I mean, I have a kid, she's like, I stop at a Starbucks and she wakes up like, what are you getting, right?
Right.
All these kids are asleep. They're drugged. So they carry them drugged up into the all the way up to the border. This is Biden era. So they would drug all these kids to not make them interact with anybody that might ask them any questions, basically. They put an armband on them, and they had some sort of organized effort on the U.S. side to receive them and put them wherever they need to be. All of that was shady. All of that was really shady. I don't know.
That's so horrific.
I don't know what happens on this side. I don't know what happens on this side. I know that as an immigrant myself, I know that this administration, and specifically in this part of in this history and what's happening right now, is there's a lot of stress and fear. I see the effects of it in different industries, from agricultural to culture to just this general anxiety that is felt across the country by people of my color skin that look Mexican or are Mexican. But I also am not blind to or not stupid enough to see and compare it to the past administration and some of the shit that went on there.
That's the problem, is that it's an overcorrection. The problem is when you have an open border and you do know that cartel members are just freely going across, and you do have human trafficking and you want to stop it, then you want to get everybody out that came in during the last 4 years. So now you have 20 million people you have to account for.
Yeah.
And the problem is some of them are good people. Some of them are not gang members. Most of them are just people that wanted a better life. Most of them. But they have mandates now. And mandates get creepy because then people become numbers. And if you say, we got to get rid of X amount every day,
yeah.
And then you just show up at Home Depot and you get some hardworking guy with a family who just wants to do some roofing jobs.
Yeah. Dude selling flowers.
Yeah.
Lady selling fruit in cups.
And then there's this pushback on amnesty. People have this crazy pushback. If someone's been here for 20 years, they've been working on a farm, and they're good people, and they've established a family here, let's figure out a pathway to amnesty. And then there's the hard right pushback. They're like, fuck you. You got here illegally. Get the fuck out. It's like, those are jobs Americans could do. It's like,
I mean,
well, first of all, my take on that is if you're using illegal labor at the bottom line, what you're doing is not paying people what they should be paid.
Illegal immigration is illegal because people want it to remain so,
Right.
because they need that cheap labor. That's another addiction.
Someone explained that to me, that he was having a conversation with this extremely wealthy guy who was upset at the crackdown on the border because they need illegal workers. It's a part of their business model because you don't have to pay them any benefits. You don't have to pay them whatever
They're off the books.
Yeah, exactly. And they can't complain.
If they do,
Yeah, that's not good. Like, you shouldn't have that. So they should find out, first of all, forget about whether or not someone's illegal or not. Like, what are you paying them?
Yeah.
You should have like a detailed record of how much everybody who works for you gets paid. And if there's a bunch of people that are working for you that aren't on record, what's going on?
yeah.
Like, why do you have this enormous corporation that relies on illegal labor?
There are legal means of coming up to the U.S. and migrating, or as a worker, but it's
hard. And that's the problem. If you're poor, it's almost impossible. I have good friends that have immigrated to the United States, and they have to prove that their job is something that can't be done by an American, or that they're exceptional at their job.
when I went through my immigration process, I had my wife, who I've known since I was 16, next to me, and my daughter. And they didn't believe that our marriage was real.
Jeez.
So I did it legally, and I had all of the things that I needed to have that immigration go through, and it was the most difficult process that I've ever gone through. And I can't imagine other people that have, I don't know.
How about they don't speak English, right? How about they have no money?
But there are quotas for other countries. Like, I remember when I got mine, there was like a Nigerian dude that couldn't speak English, and he got it. And I got, like, we need more information.
Wow.
And that's another aspect of it. Again, somebody brown in this country that is an immigrant.
Meanwhile, it's the foundation of most cities.
I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
I'll just...
You ever see that documentary, A Day Without Mexicans?
Yeah.
The fucking whole country shuts down, especially LA.
I mean, the California fires and all the houses that were gotten, like people in construction, you go to some of these work sites, todos hablan español.
Yeah.
you're like, oh, ¿qué onda? Hey, ¿cómo estás? And,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's been wild seeing that and the effects it has had on just general. On the Mexican side is fear and anger and like more anti-American feelings, you know, and also this new arrival of these Americans. Because think about this, and I have a friend that I sometimes help out in places like Tijuana, where recent deportees show up in Tijuana, and there's a lot of them right now. Imagine you live in the U.S. from when you're 2 years old all the way to your 30s, and then they tell you,
right,
and then you're in a shanty town in Tijuana.
Crazy. That doesn't make any sense. That's immoral. Speaking
the clearest English, like,
yeah.
Somehow they pay taxes for all this period, so like,
right,
like, look, I paid my taxes, and like, some of them have careers, some of them have families.
Yeah, that
kids.
is the kind of shit that drives me nuts. That's insane. Like, they should be grandfathered in. You should figure out a way. Like, if someone came over here when they're 2, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
The amount of people getting kind of separated, and also I mean, they're not. We have a situation right now where there's American homeless people in Tijuana asking for money.
Whoa.
Right? That's one thing. And we also have people that you think are American, but they're actually Mexicans who were recently deported, who are living in very dire conditions. And hey, you want a job? I can't speak Spanish. Like, dude.
Oh my God.
So it's like, and this is a phenomenon that's happening across the border. And on this side,
I didn't even think about people that can't speak Spanish.
some of them can't speak Spanish.
Oh my God.
I met a dude that, again, I think he was, since he was 2, he was brought across, and he found out that he didn't have any. He found out that he didn't have any paperwork. I think at 18, when he started to do some sort of process, and they're like, "Wait, where's your birth certificate?"
Oh my God.
And he got caught up, I think, somewhere in LA, and he's sent down. This perception that it's all criminals is no.
Well, they're saying it's all criminals because if you come here illegally, it's a crime. Okay, so it was a 2-year-old criminal, 2-year-old hardened criminal in his diaper.
Yeah,
come on, that's fucking insane.
I think you're spot on when you say this is an overcorrection.
Yes,
I think that is a very true statement.
It's also treating people like numbers.
Yes,
and and not having the resources to look at each individual case, not having enough manpower and people, and also everybody loses their compassion. You just deal with it over and over and over again. You're like, enough.
Yeah.
What's your story? That's not really your kid. That's not really your wife.
Yeah.
People, they get lied to enough that they lose their humanity.
Yeah, I understand that aspect of it.
It's horrible.
But, this is we're going to live with the consequences of this. And our kids are going to live with the consequences of this probably in the future. And when people look back at this,
the national karma of it.
Yeah, when people look back at this, the United States leaving Afghanistan as it did guaranteed that it's going to be very hard for America to find friends internationally now, realistically. However it deals with Mexico in the next few years it's going to define this nation. This is whatever's happening right now, whatever deals are being done, whatever this administration is pointing at is going to define us for. My kids are going to have to live with the results of this.
Yeah. There was mass deportations going on during the Obama administration too.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people aren't aware of. They used to call him the deporter in chief.
And this is one thing that just makes me nuts, because whenever I hear people up here, they want to vilify just one side, I guess. Yeah,
you can't do that. But it's a trap. That's a trap.
When Obama was about, he deported a lot of people.
I think it was somewhere around 3 million people.
It was like this at the border.
How many people did the Obama administration deport over the entire 8 years? I think it was like 3 million people.
Yeah. So, and
why was he deporting so many people?
Pressure. They probably had some sort of political pressure. I'm not sure. But the thing I point at is that within my same community, they try and point at people in politics as like, no, but he's part of the Democratic Party. He's going to help us. Mm-hmm. Whatever governor it is in whatever state. Yeah. But no, he was a part of the same party that supported Obama, and Obama was doing all this.
3,307,000. So what is that total on the left, Jamie?
Total apprehensions, and then the middle number you just read is the U.S.-Mexico border apprehensions.
So those are just apprehensions, or what about deportations?
And then removal. Total deportations is 5 million.
5 million.
That's not just Mexico. It's kind of the point it's making.
Right. 5 million.
Bush administration, 10 million.
Whoa.
Clinton administration, 12.3.
Wow. How many has Trump deported? Let's find that out.
Yeah, and the perception of the villainy, like in the community, it's about pointing to those are the enemy, these are our friends, those are the enemy, these are our friends.
What they're doing exactly right here. People get so caught up in, it's MAGA versus the Democrats. Like, you're being played.
Yeah. You're
getting fucked no matter who's in office. The whole thing is a scam. And it's these giant corporations are laughing in your face. The whole thing has nothing to do with you. You're just a little pawn. And they use TikTok too. Yeah, there's so much propaganda being going on online.
In my mind, I always think about this first. Like, I'm an immigrant. I'm new here. I'm trying to figure things out. I've seen more of the United States than most Americans. I think I'm missing Hawaii, Iowa, and Alaska. But I've been every other place. I was in a room in Tennessee watching a bunch of dudes dance with poisonous snakes at one point.
Oh boy, you went to a snake handler place?
Beautiful experience. In Mexico, Americans go down to Mexico and watch bullfights. And when I was there, I was like, I'm doing exactly the same shit you guys are doing. Shut up.
Yeah.
I grew up around snakes. I used to hunt them and sell the skin to the boot makers and stuff like that. So
how did you get in contact with snake handlers?
I do a lot of training across the country for police, government institutions, privately, and I did a medical class out in Tennessee, and somebody there's like, "Hey, Ed, you're going we want to show you around. You want to go see a moonshine distillery?" He's like, "No." Like I said, "Hey, are there any of these types of churches around here where they, you know?" It's like, "Yeah." Why would you want to go there? Because it's exotic to me.
Yeah, I'd want to go there too.
I want to see.
Yeah.
I can't tell you too much about them because they told me to keep it low key. But when I went there, they asked me, "Are you Christian?" It's like, "I'm Catholic." "So you're not Christian?"
Catholic is Christian.
No, according to them, it's a satanic institution.
Oh.
But I said, "Okay, are you ready to accept the true words?" Yeah. I want to see.
Right.
Baskets start kind of getting pulled out, and you know, I grew up around snakes, so I know what a basket with a snake might kind of. There's something in there. I thought they were defanged, in my mind. Those things were definitely real poisonous snakes. I don't know if they give them something so they're like chill.
No, they die all the time. Those guys.
Yeah.
One got whacked recently.
Yeah, but they were still like handling them. They're just fucking just proving their faith with these snakes.
Well, if you're handling snakes all the time, they get accustomed to you handling them.
Yeah,
as long as you're feeding them.
I don't know. I was like, oh, it's cool, but I don't have enough faith. I think
as long as you keep them fed and they don't feel like they're in danger.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna fuck you up. It's like when you encounter them in the wild. It's like they're just protecting themselves. They don't want to get you.
Yeah, but there were some pictures around of some of the people that didn't have enough faith, I guess.
Oh, they got whacked?
Yeah.
Did they die, or they just like...
I think they have pictures there of people that passed.
Because some people don't die, you just get horrible necrosis around the wound.
Yeah.
Where you need massive skin grafts, and you lose like half your fucking muscle tissue in your leg.
Yeah.
See if you can find that article about a guy recently, a snake handler, who got killed.
Hopefully.
Found the Trump thing before I move on.
Okay.
He did his first term. He did half during his first 4 years. He did 1.5 million deportations. That's about half of Obama's first term, which was 2.9.
Wow.
And about the same as Biden's term, which was 1.49 also.
And what is he at now?
I mean, they're only 6 months into the year.
Yeah.
How crazy is it that Biden deported 1.49 million while letting in 20? Like, what do you think they were doing? Was that a part of destabilization? I know there was also efforts to move people to specific states so that you can get a larger number for the census, so you get more congressional seats. This is a dark thing that people don't want to admit because they're a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, but listen, it is.
Remember who to vote for, and they just get dropped off.
I had a conversation with my parents about it, and they're like, no. I'm like, yes, it's about congressional seats. It's like the census counts illegals, and not only that, they're trying to make it so that those people can vote. And if you can make it so that those people can vote, then all of a sudden you ship these people to a place, you give them EBD cards, you get them on food stamps, you give them Medicaid money, they have money.
Yeah.
And now, who are you going to vote for?
Yeah.
You're going to vote for the people who got you money.
Yeah.
You're going to people who give you the food stamps. Like, who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for the people that shipped you to Springfield, Ohio. This is a good spot.
And why do you think that is? Like, yes, votes, congressional seats is one.
Mm-hmm. Swing states.
Net population growth.
I think there's a little of that too.
I think
there's population collapse.
There's a population. There's no immigrant crisis in China right now.
Right.
And I think they're on their way to probably collapsing if they go through this downturn in their population. I think the U.S. is, at some points of its history, I think has been kind of close to that, I guess.
Japan is in the middle of it. South Korea is experiencing it.
I don't know. And I ask because I'm trying to find logic between deporting the Biden administration doing that and then opening the door in that way. For me, it's always been interesting how a lot of these migrant caravans have a story or a narrative in their head all the way from where they're coming from up into the U.S. So like Sean Ryan was here a while ago, and I think he mentioned that we actually went. I took him down to TJ to one of these migrant caravans that was right on the border, and I told, "Hey, Sean, you want to talk to some of these people?" "Ah, sure." And he got a kick out of the fact that in the middle of this camp there was a giant Biden flag flying. But that wasn't the funniest thing. I'll see if I could send you the picture. All of the guys that we were interviewing, this was still COVID mask era. Some of them had "Make America Great Again" masks on. I have no idea who gave them those, but somebody with a sense of humor probably did. I have a picture of me and Sean Ryan with some of the people that we interviewed, and they have "Make America Great Again" masks on. But they were told by the organizers that they had a clear path to the U.S. and then all they needed to do was make a lot of noise on the border, make a lot of newsworthy events on the border, talk to all the press they could, and somebody there was keeping tabs, and then they could go.
Wow,
that was the mindset that a lot of them had, which is a weird one, And then some of them would talk to us about the fact that they would get aid from from Americans would come down and give them their camps, their tents.
USAID.
Yeah. And there was a lot of dollars being handed out to pay for things. So it was shady, right? Now, like I actually talked to three I think they were Honduran. They just got to the border. Now their idea is to go to Europe. They have this weird sense that somebody told them somewhere down there that Europe is taking immigrants, so they're trying to make their way to Mexico. So from Mexico, they want to go to Europe. They're not looking to the U.S. anymore, which is a weird change in their narrative.
Well, you see the mass immigration in Europe is bananas.
Yeah, yeah,
it's really crazy.
Yeah, and again,
But what is it about? Like, why? Why would someone organize this? Why would someone fund this?
I don't know, destabilization, political means. Maybe the U.S. wants to avoid population decline, so that this is one way they can backdoor it.
There's probably many factors, right? The political, the destabilization is one, but just politically to get more congressional seats because of the way they use the census, which I think Trump is trying to change. Is he changing that? They said they weren't going to count illegals in the census anymore.
I haven't heard of that.
Is that, I mean, what kind of laws are involved? Could you do that with an executive order? Like, I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know.
But so you have that, and then you have the true need for labor that people don't
which is, I mean, I've been all over the country, and every time I go into a hotel in the Oklahoma, Buenos dias. Yep. I always do the Buenos dias.
Yeah.
And 80% of the time, like, Buenos dias. Like, what part of Mexico are you from? Like, we have this cool conversation. Kitchens, like I've
throughout New York City. Anthony Bourdain told me about that. He said all his best cooks were Mexican.
From Puebla.
Wow.
I was in Vegas and this sushi restaurant, high-level sushi restaurant.
Trump calls for new U.S. census that excludes undocumented immigrants. Census has historically counted all residents, regardless of citizen status, as required by the 14th Amendment. So you can't really do that.
Yeah, Congress has the power for the census, not the president. So he's changing something.
So Congress would have to agree with him on something like that. Which I think politically there might be motivation to do that, because you could game the system by an administration allowing not just mass immigration, but then the moving of all these immigrants to all these areas where you wanted to take over.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like using these people as political ploys, and then they get a fresh start in America, so it's kind of like a win-win. Yeah, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Whenever I travel, I always look at people in the service industry. Like I try to see where they're from, and it's always Mexican. A lot of them are Mexican. In different parts of the country, it's different, but mostly Mexicans. Minnesota, there's a lot of not Mexicans there. Ethiopian.
Yeah, a lot of Somalians.
I think there was one that was running for mayor there. Was recently was online.
Young fella.
Yeah.
Pretty radical.
He looked exactly like somebody that appeared in a movie.
Yeah.
Where he was a captain for a moment.
Yeah,
that's all I'm
exactly.
gonna say. It was pretty fun.
Exactly.
But independently of that, the amount of like cultures I'm experiencing across the country, it's like, wow, this is just like the UN of countries. Like everywhere I go, I meet people from all over the world.
Well, that's the part of the beauty of America, really. The beauty of America is that it's a melting pot. That's supposed to be what's cool about it. But when it's sort of weaponized in this way, when people are using it for their political gain and bringing people in for political gain and then making a person like you go through crazy hoops and ladders and all this shit to try to get in here legally. You're like, oh, you're discouraging legal immigration in favor of illegal immigration, which is really easy.
Yeah, and I understand the part of the American populace that are like, we want to keep America. Guess what? I want to keep America. That's why I came up here.
Yeah.
Going to Kentucky and experiencing that America.
Yeah.
Cool.
Listen, there's no more American people than Cuban Americans. Those motherfuckers are hardcore America.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they know what the fuck
Yes.
communism looks like. This isn't just like some theoretical shit they teach you in college. Like their grandparents and their great-grandparents grew up oppressed.
Yes.
Like they had to deal with that stuff. They escaped and they came over to America and they have no tolerance for any bullshit.
Well, in Mexico right now, there are things you can't say. There's laws that prohibit you from being violent verbally against a political figure if she's a female, and you'll have to go on TV and like read out like a whole thing apologizing for your insults. Public humiliation basically is being legalized in Mexico, and Mexico is going towards that side of things.
Oy.
But I'm up here and I'm seeing some of the things up here as well, so like I have this vision of the US where it's like, cool, this is a place where I'm safe to pursue whatever happiness I think exists. I didn't find that happiness in my country where I'm from, where I came from, because this or this or this or that. Why do I want to bring some of that here? I guess would be one of the ways that I think about it. I don't want. Hey, this Texas is kind of boring. Let's bring in fucking militarized cartel members to roll around the city and pick up kids and shit like that and train them into camps.
Well, that's the big fear about Texas, having Californians come here. Don't California our Texas.
Yeah.
Because they're like, man, California's just bullshit. We got to get out of here. This place, the laws are dumb. What made this place this place? Those fucking laws, dumbass.
Yeah, like constitutional carry. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a cool thing.
Keeps everybody super polite.
Yeah. Everybody's super polite, and also like, hey, call the cops after, whatever mentality that is. In Mexico, airsoft guns are like on weird lists. Like you can't buy a site for a gun. If you want to buy a gun, you have to fly to Mexico City, which basically makes it prohibited to anybody that doesn't have any real means or money to get guns or training. So it's basically you don't get the privilege to defend yourself in a country where you can't trust the cops. 90% of all murders are never solved. And look at all these fucking roving gangs rolling around with fucking capabilities of taking down helicopters. They're cool, but you can't have a 22 caliber pistol. That's the mindset. When I came up here, I'm like, oh, cool. This is a place where some of that is not the case. But then a bunch of gun laws passed in California while I was going through my process. And people started showing up to the gun range that I would go to train with, like weird California compliant guns that you have to like weld the magazine to a certain place and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, it's changing up here too.
Just California.